1989 dawned, and what a year it was to prove for Bandits, possibly their best ever year to date in the sport. David Fairbairn once again set his stall out and brought in 3 new riders into the squad, all heat leaders, and of course one of them, David Walsh, was a former Bandit returning to the fold. He had been with Cradley the previous season. David Blackburn, though, was to prove the big signing at number 1. Blackie had come from Glasgow, where he hadn't ridden all that well, but he had been such a big influence at Newcastle previously and had finished 3rd in the Division 2 Riders Championship when with the Diamonds. So Blackie was to top the averages, but there was certainly strength and depth right throughout the squad. Blackie incidentally went on to again finish 3rd in the Division 2 Riders Championship for Bandits in '89 at Coventry. But look at the averages that year. David Blackburn 9.78, Mark Courtney 9.5, Sean Courtney riding superbly 7.5, David Walsh 7.5, Andy Campbell, who had come into the squad from Wimbledon, flew up to the matches to Edinburgh Airport. He came from Guildford and looked more like a business executive than a speedway rider, but he averaged over 7. Rob Grant just under 7, young Scott Robson progressing 5.6, and young Kevin Little from Kelso, a teenager, come in after starting the season at Glasgow, finished with an average of 2. But the league was no championship for Bandits. They finished 3rd, their best ever season, but they did have the gratification of winning at Poole, the league champions of course, and it was Poole who were to provide the opposition in the '89 Knockout Cup, and Bandits of course were to win that cup. And what a season it was, with that culmination of that Knockout Cup victory at Berrington Lough. And the hero of the hour was Mark Courtney, of course, who had a very nasty injury on the Sunday before the cup final at home to Wimbledon, was in hospital, discharged himself, went down to Poole and topped the Bandits score chart in the first leg. The cup final of course was ridden by Bandits as a mark of respect. They really wanted to win it for the late Ian Graham. Ian died sadly in August '89 after a long illness. He was Mr. Speedway at Berwick. We haven't mentioned Ian up to now, we've deliberately kept it back. We're going to show you highlights of the '89 Knockout Cup final, and then we're going to give you our tribute to the late Ian Graham.
Keeps the nerves all that more tense really. So heat 14, the second attempt, and it's a clean break this time by the Bandits pair, and Courtney and Blackburn shooting into the first turn ahead of Allen and Langdon. It's Dave Blackburn leading, Mark Courtney in second, and Tony Langdon in third. So the 6-point lead that was opened up by the Echo Pirates could well be whittled away now by the fast gating Bandits pair. So Blackie leading, Mark Courtney in second, and Berwick are clawing their way back into it now. It's been neck and neck all the way through, just that lead slightly opened up by the home side, but back come Berwick, bouncing back into contention. And what a tremendous cup tie this has turned out to be. And we're certainly in for a cracking second leg up at Berrington Lock. And certainly the Berwick fans have waited a long time to have a tremendously successful side like this, and it looks like their patient wait has been well worth it. Mark Courtney and David Blackburn have secured a 5-1 in heat 14. Blackie took the flag, Courtney was second, Gary Allen third, and that could be a very important heat advantage indeed for the Berwick Federation Bandits. Blackburn red, unbeaten so far, Andy Campbell blue, Alan Rossiter in white, and Craig Boyce in yellow and black. So it's Paul's last chance really now. They've got to get something from this. Well, it's the Bandits pair gating into the first turn. Campbell on the inside, Blackie on the outside, and Roscoe in third. It stays like this, and the Bandits are there, and their fans are aware of that. They're roaring on these two now. Andy Campbell's leading, Dave Blackburn second, and Alan Rossiter third. And of course, the fact that it's almost clinched now is down to the Bandits' superb performance in his first leg down at Wimborne Road. To only lose by 4 points there, an excellent achievement. And it's set up tonight's second leg nicely for the home side. And what a moment for Andy Campbell. He knows all about getting beaten in cup finals. He was defeated last season with Wimbledon, but he could taste the other side of the coin now. Campbell is almost home and dry. He takes a checker flag. Blackie second, one wheel over the line, Roscoe's third, and that 5-1 tells the fans something they've wanted to know all evening, but their side has done it. They have reached 50 points now. What a moment for Blackburn and Campbell. So here they come then, the two men who have actually clinched it with that big 5-1. Great team effort all round, of course. And what a night here in the Borders. Tremendous achievement and well deserved too. And Andy Campbell, well, he's been practicing those quite a lot and he's perfected it, I'd say there. Well done, Andy. And well done, Blackie, as well. Well, it is a team effort, but these two, unfortunately for them, are the ones who've clinched it, so they will receive the bumps. Never mind, lads. All in a good cause. I'm sure they won't mind one moment. There certainly is life north of Watford. As we've seen tonight, Rob Grant picking up the trophy there. And of course, you may have heard in that interview, Rob was referring to the late Ian Graham, Mr. Berwick Speedway, really, who unfortunately died recently following an illness. He's one of the founder members of the Berrington Love Stadium. Built it up from nothing. And he still did the programme at stages this season. But of course, he unfortunately passed away. And as Rob Grant said there, we've won the trophy for him. And they certainly have. They've won it convincing style here tonight. Here we go. The jubilant Federation Bandits side, Davey Fairbairn there, getting a belly full of beer. And Dick and Rob Grant there is keen to point out something. And we're struggling with the bottle at the moment. There it goes, David Walsh. Well done, Dave. Just as well he got that open. There'd be uproar otherwise, although I'm sure Rob Grant would have found a method of opening the bottle if the top hadn't popped out. Mark Courtney's got the cups to keep, and in fact, well, that's the kind of guy Dave Blackburn is, really. Mark Courtney, a leather full of champagne. I'm sure he won't mind.
Well, as you probably heard, rerun videos mentioned there in their cup final video. They filmed both legs, of course. The Bandits wanted to pick the cup up so much in memory of the late Ian Graham, who had sadly died in August 1989. Ian, of course, was Mr. Berwick Speedway for many years. He had fought serious illness with tremendous courage over the years. He was an accountant, of course, in his own business in Berwick. He had begun work with the firm of Thomas Cook in Bridge Street, Berwick, and later took it over before moving into partnership with Mr. Douglas Home in the quayside of Berwick. But Speedway was his great love. Few had done more for the sport over a period of about 20 years, and he was one of the major driving forces behind the creation of the Federation Bandits' own stadium in Berrington. He will be irreplaceable, that was the words stated at the time by the Bandits promotion. He was virtually the Mr. Speedway of Berwick. He was involved in every facet of the sport, from fundraising to sponsorship, from accountancy of the club to accountancy of the riders. He had served successive promotions, working happily with the Taylor family, and then the Fairbairns, and the sport in general owed him a great debt of gratitude. Ian, of course, was one of the driving forces behind the move to Berrington Lough. He was involved so much in the discussions with Berwick Rangers Football Club when the Bandits were dumped from Shieldfield Park in 1980. His enthusiasm and initiative was largely responsible for steering the Bandits through 20 years, because there had been difficult times and it required someone like Ian to help them survive. And as we say, he helped the riders with their financial problems too. And he also did accounts for other tracks as far away as Glasgow and Exeter. And even in the latter stages of his illness, which he fought against so determinedly, he still was involved in the club as programme editor and as a contributor to the local columns of the Tweeddale Press Group and the Speedway Star and Speedway Mail. So Ian Graham, really a sad blow, his death in 1989 as far as Berwick Speedway was concerned, and really, as you'll hear shortly, it virtually sealed the end of the relationship with Berwick Speedway of the Fairbairn family. We couldn't do this video without mentioning Ian. He's still sadly missed by everyone in this part of the world who knew him.